So there's a chill in the air, and we don't seem to have any snow in the forecast for Thursday. Some of you are getting prepared to have people show up Thursday morning. Others will have family start arriving before then, possibly Wednesday. Some maybe even as early as Tuesday. Others of you have decided that you don't want to brave the airport, so you're going to drive to where you're going and praying that the construction on the road is finally done. And we prepare for the holiday. Part of the way we prepare for the holiday, I think, is in the cooking and in the chatting and all the conversations. Another way some of the holiday preparation has been going is in the conversations about who's going to what stores on Black Friday, which, interestingly enough, is now turning and tumbling into what I am now calling Terrible Thursday, because people have to start shopping on Thursday shortly after they finish their meal. For many of us, it will be a time of celebration, but for others of us, it will not be something that we're really looking forward to. It might be a difficult time. It might be that time when it's the first time we're going to have a holiday without a loved one, and that's hard to face and hard to look forward to. It might be the time when it's our turn to take the shift at work. This is our year to take the Thanksgiving shift, so we'll report to the hospital or the police station or the fire station or the ambulance, and we'll be the ones on call that day. Others of us will be the +1 that the kids learned about. I thought that was cool. They didn't know about +1. But we'll be the +1, and that might feel funny because it'll be the first time we're going into a family gathering and we're not part of that family, and most of the people will be unfamiliar to us. We might feel sad about that. We might wonder if we can just speed through and get to the other side of Thursday. In all of it, we are called to remember that this too is the day that the Lord has made. Because each and every day, whether they're days that we look forward to with great anticipation and great excitement. There's some of us that embrace Thanksgiving as if the turkey was the most sacred meal of the year. One of us here might not, but just saying from a vegetarian point of view, it's not my favorite holiday. But, Thanksgiving is a day when people get excited about food and eating and getting together in family. And for some of us, it's a day that we're just going to have to live through and walk through. But whichever place we are in this, and if we're somewhere in that continuum between wildly excited and absolutely unhappy, it's still the day that the Lord has made. And we need to find a way to rejoice and be glad in it. One of the things we've been studying over the past 4 weeks is this concept of God as creator. And our creator God has invited us as to be God's partners in caring for all of creation. And as we are caring for all of creation, we too have to participate in what it means to help others have a part of what we have received. Because what we know, without a shadow of a doubt, that all that we have and all that we are is a gift from God. And once we embrace the fullness of what I just said, although I stumbled over it, all that we have and all that we are is a gift from God. And we start listening to that proclamation that sometimes falls easily off of our tongue but takes a little while for us to embrace in our hearts. Then we have to start thinking about this God who would create a world so wonderful, so full of abundance, that we really would be given all the things that we need. And not only that, God would create this world in such a way that everything that everyone would need would be had, would be growing in abundance, but that God would help orchestrate to spread it around, because we know that there's portions of this world that don't have the producing ability that we have. When I was reading that, and of course I stopped over the wheat, but when I was reading this, and I've read it so many times this week, because the Lord your God is bringing you to a wonderful land, a land with streams of water. Just drive around our area. See all the lakes and the streams and the rivers and the springs and the wells that gush up in the valleys and on the hills, a land of wheat. On our most difficult days in Kansas, when we're having trouble with drought and we're worried about the fires, and we do need to be concerned about the fires out west, this land is still a land of such great abundance that we can always find somewhere to go to get food and be able to eat. There are places around the world that don't have the ability to get people the food without our help. And so God has invited not only us to participate in the care of our local community and our national community, but our community around the world. And this is the kind of partnership that God has said that, I will make you and you will have all that you need, and I will enable you to be a partner so that you can help other people have a part of what I have given you. And as we approach Christmas, and for those of you who have been in the stores already, and I love Christian bookstores, and I love the concept to a point, but we keep seeing, you will start seeing Jesus is the reason for the season. Well, I want to tell you, and I want us to own as committed followers of Jesus Christ, that he came for a greater reason than profiting the people who are selling Christmas ornaments. That Christ came to save us. And when Christ came, Jesus really came upon this earth for a purpose. And that purpose is so that we might have life and have it eternal. And when God offers us eternal life, that life, in order for it to be as full and wonderful and glorious as God envisions it to be, is we need to be inviting other people to participate in that life with us. Because if we're looking forward to that kingdom which has no end, what we really want to be able to have when we're fully in the sight of God is for all of our buddies and all of our friends and all the people we haven't met yet to be there partying with us. And in order for that to happen, we've got to be inviting them. And that's part of that witness, that opportunity that we have been given as committed followers of Jesus Christ who are seeking, sharing, and serving in God's love, have the call to do and to be. We are called to spread the good news of Jesus Christ. We are called to be the ones who, when others are sad this week, because they have to work on Thanksgiving, they didn't get the good shift. They got have to be there at 4 o'clock and 3:30 for the meeting and half an hour before that, and they're sad about it, or they're sad about that they're going to be up at work at 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and they're already tired from stocking the shelves for the past 2 weeks, and all people are talking about is what people can buy and get and wrap and package. When people are in this mad dash of the next 5 weeks to Christmas, let us be the light of Christ. Let us be giving thanks. Let us be a people who commit to being a thanksgiving people. Because I think we take that word, we smush it together, we call it a holiday, and we don't really, other than praise you, Miss Susan. When the kids said that they weren't taught that in school, I know several of us probably got the little shivers. But the reality of it is then when we get past school, do we think about what the holiday is all about? Those 5 kernels of corn for which we need to remember to give thanks. Last week, Jennifer Labruska was talking to us about the Zoe project that the children are doing. And they had a challenge the week before, and that was to count the members of their family and bring in quarters. And then this past week, we were supposed to count the doors in our house and bring in dimes. Now, I'm an admitted child. I'm really comfortable with that. That has weighed on my soul all week, to be counting my blessings. And I counted the closet doors too. We have 25. So there are 25 dimes in here. But But what I found in doing this is if you actually really look at the doors in your home, and I know that's what Jennifer is trying to get the kids to understand is to look in the doors of your home and look what it opens up to or what it closes. Like the door of my closet. One of my closets has some special books from seminary and some things that I treasure. And another one of our closets has an award my mama won in her workplace when I was probably 15 years old. And there are treasures. Things that we count as blessings. What if we commit ourselves to counting our blessings each and every day? Whether they be the doors in our home, whether they be the members of our family. Some days we count them as blessings, some days we count them as challenge, but nonetheless. For us to call ourselves to a different way of looking at what God has given us. Because if we are to be stewards of all creation, and that's what God has told us. You're partnering with me to be caretakers of all creation. Then we need to look at it with the eyes that God looks at us. God cherishes us. God loves us. God has done all of this. God came in the form of Jesus Christ to save us. And so when we accept all this as our truth, then we should be counting our blessings. So our challenge for this week, in addition to keep praying about if you have not filled out your commitment for 2018, but your challenge for this week is to commit to counting your blessings each day. Feel free to count your doors, count your windows, count anything. And if you want to support the Zoe Project, which helps the children in Zimbabwe, which right now are being even more challenged than they were a week ago because of what's going on in their political government. The African University continues to have classes, but they had to do so with great care because of some of the military issues that are going on right this moment. But pray for those kids, for their safety and their well-being. Pray that our kids will be the kind of people that will be caretakers of all God's people across the globe, and that they will continue to partner with children wherever they are so that they might have the kind of life that God desires for them. So your challenge is to count your blessings and to be a thanksgiving people each day. Amen.